Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Reaching Riches. I've been tracking the new funds from RoundHill, which is QDTE and XDTE. QDTE sells daily covered calls on the NASDAQ, and XDTE sells daily covered calls on the S&P 500. So you can see Monday's trade right here, which is the 11th. They sold a call on NDXP for five contracts at $18.69. They collected $9,340 for that, and they had a strike of $18,040. So it opened at 17,959 and it closed at 17,951. So that means they won that trade for Monday. And Tuesday they sold the NDX, three contracts for $21.50 each. They collected $64.53. They had a new strike of $18.41, which is about 0.43% out of the money. It opened at $18,063 and it closed at $18,219. So they did take a loss on that one. They had to settle that for $237. It's not too bad, but we don't want to be taking losses too much. But let's go to Wednesday. So they had a NDXP again. They sold three contracts at $9.56. They collected $28.68. They had a new strike price of $18,260, and the NDXP opened at $18,151, and it closed at $18,068. So that's lower than their strike. So that means they won, and they got to keep their full premium of $28.68. So going to Thursday, they actually had two trades on Thursday. One on NDX or XND and NDXP. So on NDXP they had three contracts at 1716, and they collected $51.48 for that. They had a strike of 18,210, while it opened at 18,114, and it closed at 18,014, which means that it closed below their strike, and they got to keep their full 51.48. And now let's go to their second trade on that same day, which is XND, and they sold 50 contracts at 23 cents per contract, and they collected 1,150. They had 182 strike, and it opened at 181.15, and it closed at 180.15. So still under the strikes. So that means they got to keep their full premium of $11.50. And Friday, so they sold NQX this time, 17 contracts, and they collected $5.25 each, which means they collected a total of $8,925. They had a strike of 3,600. It opened at 35.85. It closed at 35.61. So that's another win because it closed below their strike. So they got to collect a full premium. So all in all, they had 4 wins and 1 losses. It's not too bad. You can see their holdings here. So they do hold long calls at these strikes. So NDX is at 1696, expiring in March 21st, 2025. They also have another long call NQX at 1700 strike for was that May 17, 2024. So like in 2 months. And then they have another long call XND expiring in June of this year. So one of them's a really long call away, and then other 2 will be expiring here soon. So this is their running profit loss. So they made $27,198. If they were to pay out what they made, it would be about 19 cents per share. But if you take into account all the premiums that they made minus or without factoring in the losses, then they made 33,000. And if they paid this out, then we would be looking at a 24-cent dividend. So that's not too bad for just a week's worth of trades. But we will see what they actually pay out come declaration day. I believe it's at the end of the month. So let's go to the trades of XDTE. Alright, so XDTE did have a lot more trades. So here we go. Let's go over the long calls first. So they have expiring in March 21st, 2025. They have an SPX and an XSP for a 420 strike and a 42.69 strike. So these are deep in the money strikes. So they'll be expiring in about 2 years. So those should be profitable as long as the index doesn't just crash. So let's go over their daily trades. So these two were on Monday. So they had XSP for 5 contracts and they collected 7 cents for that, which would equal to 35 cents each. So they had a strike of 514 and the price opened at 511 and it closed at 511.79. So that was a win because it closed below. So that there's a win right there. And then if we look at SPXW, that was 2 contracts at $1.94. So they collected $3.38 for that. And here again, they chose the 5140 strike. It opened at 5111 and it closed at 5117. So it's another win. You can see these other two. So they had another XSP and SPXW. So for SXP, they collected 8 cents per contract for 5 contracts, so total of $40, and another 2 contracts over here for SPXW for $2.74, and they collected a total of $548 for that. And these strikes are pretty similar for the most part if you look up here, so I'm going to go through these pretty quick. So their strikes were 51.65 and 5.17. It closed above their strike, so it opened 51.34 and it closed at 51.75, which is above here, and then on this one it was barely above, so by 53 cents. But all in all, they took a loss there. Whoops, my bad. There we go. All right, so they did take a loss there, so they did have to pay out here for $20.56 here and $2.65 here. So on to Wednesday, they had XSP again and SPXW, another 5 contracts here, another 2 contracts here. This one was weird. I don't know why they would trade for a penny, but that's what it said on their holdings, so I'm gonna go with what they have. So they collected $5 here, and then they collected $78 here. Onto their strikes. On SPXW, they had 5205 strike. It opened at 5173 and it closed at 5165. So they won this one. And over here they had a 520 strike. It opened at 517 and it closed at 516. So they won again. So they got to keep the full premium. It wasn't very much. It's what, $83. So not really sure why they would open a trade for such low premium. Here's another one that was a little weird. On the intraday trades, it did say 0, so really don't know what's going on there. I'm not really gonna cover this one because it's definitely weird. But here they did SPXW 3 contracts for $1 or $2 per contract, so they collected 306 for that. They had a 5,200 strike. It opened at 51.75 and it closed at 51.50, so they got a win. They got a win there. And if we look at Friday, they sold another XSP and SPXW, another 5 contracts and 3 contracts. So they sold SPXW for average contract of $6.22, which is good. They're actually starting to collect more and more. So now they collected 1866 here. They chose to strike 51.50. It opened at 51.23 and it closed at 51.17. So that was definitely a win again. They got the full premium there, and over here they collected 250 on their XSP. They had a strike of 515. It opened at 512 and it closed at 511. So another win in the books. They collected this full premium. Alright, so let's look at the running profit loss. So if they take into account the losses that they took here, then they would only be paying 8 cents. What is going on with this formula? I don't know what's I don't know what's going on with this formula. Let me see if I can fix that. Bear with me here. Oh, it's because I shifted around the. Alright, so let me just take this one here. Alright, there we go. Wait, did I do that right? Oh, whoops, sorry. Wrong column. Let me adjust that again. Premium collected. There we go. There we go. Alright, so now that's accurate. So they collected 35.16 for the week, and if they were to pay that out, we would get 10 cents per share. So not as good as QDTE, but for weekly income, not too bad. Alright, so I will be continuing to track these. I'm not sure if I want to go to a daily or if I'm going to stick to just a weekly video. Just let me know what you guys prefer. I don't have a whole lot of time in my week, so if you do want dailies, I got to figure out a way how to fit this into my schedule. But let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. This is my first YouTube video, so be kind. Let me know what I can improve on, and I'll try to keep updating these spreadsheets to just improve them. Also, thanks again to Max Convexity for shouting me out in his video earlier today. That's much appreciated. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching.